Okay, go ahead. Thank you, licenciado Efraín Larrea. We're gonna see right now, since now to I think 2 hours, the credit, Infonavit credit. So please let us know what you got.
Tú tienes la presentación, ¿verdad?
Listo, licenciado Francisco. Ya lo que usted diga, yo lo traduzco.
Gracias. Bien. Permítame tantito. Tú me dices, ¿verdad? Mi presentación, buenas tardes a todos. Ojalá este seminario les sirva para los fines que a cada uno de ustedes les interesa. Mi presentación se llama Conociendo al Nuevo Infonavit. ¿Por qué Conociendo al Nuevo Infonavit? Desde su fundación de 1972 a la fecha, Infonavit ha tenido muchos cambios en su estructura jurídica y orgánica. El instituto empieza el 1 de mayo de 1972 en forma oficial a trabajar lo que es la información que se da para obtener un crédito a través del propio instituto.
Panchito, haz pausas para que el licenciado pueda explicar lo que estás hablando.
Ok. Sí.
Okay, so to translate what Mr. Francisco said just a few moments ago. First of all, welcome all of you. It's a pleasure to have us all with us here in this class. So if anyone is interested regarding to the topic of Infonavit, I hope this class is for your use, for a good use in the future to any questions you might have regarding to the institution. So let's begin. The name of the presentation is Getting to Know the New Infonavit. Why did we choose this name for this presentation? Because the Infonavit has gone through a lot of changes through its history, and we're going to talk about a recent change that it's new to the Infonavit. So starting first with the history of the Infonavit, just as you can see here on the screen. The Institute of the National Fund for Workers, for Workers Housing, that will be like the translation of Infonavit. The acronyms will be in Spanish for practicity of the class. This institution was created on May 1st of 1972 to fulfill the constitutional obligation of companies to provide their workers with decent housing. Through all this history since the opening of Infonavit, it's been the mission of the Infonavit to provide and fulfill this obligation of giving decent housing or even give just housing to their workers through the obligations of their bosses in the work. Por favor, continúe, licenciado Francisco.
Gracias. Pasamos a la siguiente presentación. Uno de los cambios que tiene el Infonavit es a partir de junio del 2021. Se lanza el nuevo esquema de crédito. Por lo que todos los acreditados que contrataron este crédito después de esa fecha, las tasas de interés varían del 1.91 al 10.45. En la pantalla que estamos viendo en este momento, estamos viendo lo que era la tasa de interés de acuerdo a los salarios generados por cada uno de los trabajadores.
¿Quiere que ya lo traduzca?
Por favor, licenciado, si es tan amable.
Okay. Right here, what we're seeing just in screen is that starting in June on 2021, Infonavit launched what will be a new peso-denominated credit scheme for its mortgages and its loans. This means that all the borrowers who took out their loans or mortgage after a certain date, they have accessed interest rates ranging these rates from the 1.91% to a 10.45% depending on the salary under which they are registered. This means that depending on the income that you have regarding to your salary on your job, that will depend the interest rates that you will have for you to access to a new loan or a mortgage. You can see here on the screen this little table. Here on the left column, we see a column that says salario mensual. that means monthly salary. We can see from 4,000 pesos to 4,000 pesos to 5,000 pesos. The interest rates will be from 1.91 to 3.33%. On the right column, we see the interest rate of the mortgages and the loan that we can access since June 2021. This little table here, you can see in pesos on the left column, the monthly salary, and you can see the conversion on the interest rate on your right column. Previously, the interest rate was applied at 9% to 12% per annum. This means every year on the outstanding balance. Right now, we have this little table, this chart, where we can see the information to try to do this mathematical operation to see how much will be the interest rate depending on the salary that we are earning every month.
Correcto. Cabe hacer la aclaración que anteriormente la tasa de interés era del 9 al 12%, independientemente del salario que estaba percibiendo el trabajador. Esta tabla que acaban de ver entra en vigor a partir de junio del 2021.
What Mr. Francisco just said is to make an acceleration, as we already said, is that before this charge came out on June 2021, previously, just as it said right here at the bottom of the screen, it says that the interest rate was applied from 9 to 12 per annum. This rate of interest, it doesn't matter what type of how much income do you have monthly with your salary, you still have to pay at 9% or 12% by every year, depending on the outstanding balance that you get from your monthly salary. Now in June 2021, thanks to those changes to Infonavit, we have this chart that does a better explanation of how much will be the interest rate and helping a little bit more to the people depending on the monthly salary that they had every year, every month, sorry.
Correcto. Continuamos a la siguiente presentación.
Yes.
La puntuación anteriormente era de 116 puntos, la cual comprendía edad, salario, saldo de la subcuenta de vivienda, continuidad laboral y relación laboral vigente. Eso era el periodo anterior.
Before the changes that we saw on the last slide, right? Previously, the scoring system for you to have a credit, it was the minimum score required to access an Infonavit loan or an Infonavit mortgage. The minimum credit score was 116 points. This minimum score consisted of, depending on the age and the amount of salary that you had, the balance of the housing sub-account on your Infonavit account, the employment continuity, that means how many years you had in that job or in that employment that you had, and currently what is the currently active employment relationship. These points were the ones that we had to consider before the chart, before June 2021 on Infonavit when you access to a loan or a mortgage credit. With these 1, 2, 3, 4 points, give us the total score of the 116.
Adelante con la siguiente presentación. Bien. Hoy en día la puntuación es de 1086 puntos en base a la siguiente tabla. Antigüedad cotizando del trabajador en el instituto. Edad, salario, saldo de la subcuenta de vivienda, qué tipo de contrato, es decir, si es de planta o es eventual, el cumplimiento fiscal de la empresa con el Infonavit, la rotación del personal que tiene ante el Seguro Social y el propio Infonavit, la ubicación donde la empresa está ubicada y el giro de la compañía. Con estos elementos le tienen que dar al trabajador 1086 puntos. El 99% de los trabajadores lo alcanza sin ningún problema, porque afortunadamente el cumplimiento fiscal de las empresas va ligado al sistema único de autodeterminación que está comparado o igualado con los pagos del Seguro Social.
Nowadays, the total punctuation of the Infonavit to access to a mortgage or a loan is from 1,086 points. This is based on the following table. On the left side of the table, the left column, we can see that it says on the yellow words at the top, it says the values that are going to evaluate, the evaluated values. That is, the first element will be the employment age on the institute. That means how much time they have been on the institute, having a credit, having a loan. How old is the account with the Infonavit of the worker? The next point is the age of the worker, the salary that they are going to access to the loan with. How much is the balance in the Infonavit sub account of housing account, the type of contract that I have with the business they work with. Also, another important and interesting point here in these new elements is the accomplishment that the company where the worker works with Infonavit. That means that with this element, the benefits of the points of the workers is connected to how good is the fiscal the accomplishments regarding to the taxes, to the tax with Infonavit, if they're current with the payments, if they have all their the tax obligations fulfilled. Also, another important element right here, it's the movement of the employments inside the company, the ubication of the company where the worker works, and also what does the company do. The summatory of all these points that you see on the right column, it gives a total of 1,086 points.
Okay.
Thanks to that the companies here in Mexico has a 99.9% of all times, they have a good accomplishment of their tax obligations with the Infonavit. So most of the time, all the workers can access to the 186 points to access to the minimum score of their sub account here in Infonavit.
Ahora sí, ya la que sigue. Creo que
A ver, ¿hay alguna pregunta?
Any questions?
Bien.
Si quiere hacer la aclaración de que estos puntos es un requisito básico para recalificarse, nada más.
Continuamos con la siguiente imagen, que Infonavit ofrece una serie de créditos, ¿sí? En la cual, pasamos a la siguiente presentación. Bien. En esta presentación estamos viendo los distintos tipos de crédito que maneja el instituto. A partir del 2022 se establecieron las siguientes normas: crédito de Infonavit tradicional en todas sus líneas. ¿Qué es esto? Son 5 líneas de crédito, ¿sí? Y en ellas va desde el crédito tradicional, construcción en terreno propio, remodelación y ampliación en casa propia y el pago de pasivo. Posteriormente tenemos un crédito seguro Infonavit. Este crédito seguro Infonavit es cuando el trabajador no alcanza la puntuación y tiene que hacer un ahorro voluntario. Es muy importante. Muy poca gente puede acceder a este crédito porque ya la mayoría de los trabajadores, aún con un salario mínimo, lo pueden alcanzar sin ningún problema. Unamos crédito, Cambiavit, Cofinavit, ingresos adicionales, crédito conyugal, un segundo crédito, Mejoravit, o mejor así, Construyo Yo y Crediterreno. Adelante, licenciado.
Thank you. Gracias. Okay, since 2022, Infonavit has several credits or mortgages or loans that you can access as a worker. These are Infonavit currently efforts to try different types of financing options depending on your needs and or possibilities of the worker. So you can choose the one that suits the best for the worker. For example, the types of credits that you can request to Infonavit since 2022 or in 2022, we have the traditional Infonavit credit in all of its lines. What does that mean? It means mortgages or loans to buy a house. It also means the cancellation of those mortgages and those lines. If you're going to buy a house and help you with some credit or with the total credit, depending on your account, on your points in your accounts, in your score. The next type will be the Infonavit insurance credit. That is a credit for insurances. Let's join credits. The third one, that it means that you can join your credit with another person credit. All these points we're gonna explain in a little bit better here in the next slides. We have next Cambiavit, then we have Cofinavit, we have additional incomes Cofinavit, spousal loan, second credit, Mejoravit or Mejorasí, Construyó, and Crediterreno.
Bien, ¿hay alguna pregunta que quieran hacer sobre esas líneas de crédito?
Regarding to this line credits, is any questions you have regarding to these credits? Creo que todo bien, señor Francisco.
Correcto. Pasamos
Paso a las siguientes en las que explicamos cada uno.
Sí, por favor.
Ok, ahí está.
Bien. El crédito que más se maneja es el crédito Infonavit tradicional. Es un crédito en el cual el trabajador va a elegir libremente si desea comprar una vivienda nueva o usada. Esta línea de crédito tiene como el monto máximo que puede solicitar es 1,846,000 pesos, pero esto dependerá tanto de los puntos acumulados y de su salario. Este es el crédito número 1 que está manejando el instituto a nivel nacional.
First of all, credits, we have the traditional Infonavit credit mortgage loan. This mortgage loan that for years has been like the best and the most used credit in Infonavit. This has been given the opportunity to millions of workers in Mexico to buy their own homes. The amount you can request with this traditional Infonavit credit is up to 1,008,046 and 165 with 25 cents pesos. This is the maximum amount you can request with your score with this traditional Infonavit credit. But this amount of money that you can request, it will depend on your salary and also the accumulated points that you have in your account with the score.
Continuamos con la segunda presentación, que es crédito seguro. Este crédito seguro es para aquellos trabajadores que por alguna circunstancia no alcanzan la puntuación. El mismo sistema les va a decir, ¿sabes qué? Si quieres ejercer tu crédito en este momento, tienes que hacer un crédito seguro con un ahorro voluntario a través de una institución financiera. Antiguamente era Bansefi. Quiero suponer que ahora Bansefi, que como es Banco del Bienestar, ahí tienen que abrir su cuenta para decidir cómo van a pagar la diferencia para alcanzar la puntuación. Adelante, licenciado, con la...
Voy a apagar tanto mi cámara porque se me está yendo el internet, entonces para no consumir tanto y ahorita la vuelvo a prender, ¿sí?
Correcto,
I'm
adelante.
gonna turn off my camera just a little bit because the internet here is not very good. So just for a little bit, gonna keep it off. Gonna turn it on as soon as I can. So the second type of credit here in Infonavit is the Infonavit Insurance Credit. This is a program in collaboration with the National Savings and Financial Services Bank, also known as Bansefi, through which you can save a certain amount of money monthly, depending on your salary, and upon meeting the requirements, submit your applications to qualify for an Infonavit credit. Let's say, for example, that you have you have an insurance or a credit with the well-being bank. Here is el Banco del Bienestar. And for you to get access to a credit in Infonavit or to get back the points on your Infonavit account regarding to your score. You can apply to this credit, to this insurance, and they're gonna be taking a certain amount from your monthly salary, depending on how much you earn, is how much they're gonna take off from your salary. And they're gonna be saving it in your account as an insurance. So as soon as you need to submit an application to qualify for a credit, you can use what you have already saved with this insurance plus your points to Infonavit to get a graded amount of credit or a graded amount of mortgage here in your Infonavit account.
Okay.
Correcto. A ver. En el punto número 3 es unamos créditos Infonavit. Independientemente de tener una relación matrimonial, ahora con este tipo de crédito, yo puedo unir mi crédito con algún familiar o con un amigo para alcanzar un monto de crédito mayor al que me pueden prestar a mí solamente. En este caso, no importa el tipo de relación que tengan, si son pareja o son amigos o son compadres, ¿sí? Pueden unir su crédito para comprar la misma vivienda y obtener un crédito de mayor monto o mayor valor. Adelante con la traducción, licenciado.
Claro. The third credit line that we're using is Let's Join Credits Infonavit. This is one of the most recent credits that are granted by Infonavit. What does this credit line does? Well, it allows you to combine the amount in your sub-account with that of a sub-account of a friend, your partner. Well, if you're not married, it can be with family members, as parents, siblings, children, so that together you can obtain a higher amount and purchase a property of greater value and better location conditions. You can grab your amount, your credit amounts in your account, and I don't know, let's say that you're partnering, in the case that you're married, your partner also grabs the amount of credit that they have in their sub-account. They can combine it and access to a graded amount of credit in Infonavit, a graded amount of a mortgage, a loan, and maybe purchase a better house that is bigger, a greater a property that has greater values, a better location, better conditions, by combining both of your credits.
Aquí es muy importante que en este tipo de proceso es solamente 2 personas las que pueden participar en Unamos Crédito, ¿sí? No más, porque ha habido
It's
gente...
very important to...
Adelante, licenciado.
Perdón, continúe.
Porque ha habido gente que han querido ser 3 o 4 personas acreditadas al mismo tiempo para ejercer la misma vivienda. Y el sistema únicamente permite 2 personas como máximo.
It's very important to clarify that in this type of credits, the amount of people, the maximum amount of people that can combine their credits is only 2 persons, because it has happened that for the same property, 3 or 4 Infonavit users want to combine their credits to access to a greater property of greater value, and they can do it because the maximum amount of people that can combine their credits on Infonavit are 2. It means that you have 4 siblings and you want to buy a house and all of them want to participate, and you want to combine your credits. Only 2 siblings or only you with 1 sibling could combine their Infonavit accounts or Infonavit credits to access to a better property or a greater value of credit or mortgage. Very important to clarify that only 2 can join their accounts, combine them.
Correcto. La siguiente presentación se llama Cambiavit. Este tipo de crédito, de operación, porque no es un crédito, ya es un crédito otorgado, cuando 2 trabajadores quieren cambiar la vivienda que han adquirido respectivamente, no funciona como debe de ser por una simple y sencilla razón. Tendrían que hacer otro gasto de escrituración con la nueva ubicación de la vivienda. Y esto, como deben de saber, implica un gasto extra para los trabajadores. Regularmente este tipo de procedimiento en esta pantalla casi nadie lo acepta, pero sí es parte de los términos que otorga el instituto. Es una opción.
The next step of credit that...
Sí, perdón,
I'm sorry.
adelante.
Perdón, ¿va a continuar?
No, adelante.
Okay, disculpe. The next type of credit that is actually not a type of credit, is Mr. Francisco. It's just another extra help that offers Infonavit. It's called Cambiavit. This is implemented since 2018, since 2018 by the National Workers Housing Institute. That's Infonavit. This is it says here that it's a credit type, but we already said that it's not like a credit type. It's more like some kind of help that the Infonavit offers to its workers or to the people that has an Infonavit account that allows workers to contribute to Infonavit with a percentage regarding of their account or the score that they have to active a mortgage loan to move to a different home. Not a lot of people use it because it's not like very convenient for them to use it for the workers, because by accessing to this Cambiavit, since here it says that it's a credit type and Infonavit treats so like it has deed expenses. What does that mean? It means that if you want to change your house and you access to your Cambiavit, you will have to put on a deed with a notary, public notary, that you are going to change your house, the new location of the house that you are using. Why? Because you're using a credit. Let's say that you're using a credit for you to move to a different house. So it's an extra expense to the workers. And what Infonavit, or what we used to do with our clients that are workers, is not to make them the least expenses possible for them to help them. But it's not, they not use it so much. It's not very common that the workers use it. But here we're explaining it to you because it's one of the let's say offers that Infonavit has to their workers. So this is what it means Cambiavit.
Adelante. La línea de crédito Cofinavit es un crédito otorgado en una parte por el Infonavit y otra por una entidad financiera, llámese Sofol, banco o hipotecaria. Es un crédito combinado en la cual el mayor monto del crédito lo va a ejercer el banco, pero con las normas y las reglas que otorga el instituto. Adelante.
This fourth type of credit, called Cofinavit, it's a type of combined loan or mortgage or credit in which, if the amount granted by Infonavit is not enough or does not cover the value of the house that you wish to purchase or acquire, you can supplement or complement it with a mortgage or a loan approved by a different bank. The payment is carried out in the defined stages over set periods of time, starting with Infonavit installments and later continuing with the payments to the selected bank. To put it in more normal words, let's say that you have a credit with Infonavit and you want to access a credit with another bank. Let's put it a name, I don't know, Banco del Bienestar, Wellbeing Bank. Let's say that you have your credit, but the credit of Infonavit is not enough for you to access or to purchase the house or the property you want to buy. So you go to this bank and says, hey, I have with Infonavit this amount of credit. I was wondering if you guys could help me to get a bigger amount of credit from you, like just, let's say, a 25% of the property, for me to do the summatory with my credit plus the credit that you're giving me, and have like a bigger credit. Let's say combining the credits or the mortgages or the loan from Infonavit with the other bank. With this, you can access to buy better properties or cover the amount that you couldn't cover just with Infonavit. But to define the payments, that is set it by periods of time. Let's say that, for example, both Infonavit and the bank give you, you're going to pay Infonavit in 7 payments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, in a certain period of time. You're going to pay one amount 1 year, another amount next year, and that's in that period of time. You're going to pay first, or the worker is going to pay first to the Infonavit. Once the 7 payments of the Infonavit are completed, the next payments that the worker has to do are to the other bank. First, it fulfills the payments of Infonavit, and then it fulfills of the payment of the other bank, which one you use to complement or supplement your own credit, or the worker used to supplement their credit.
Bien, aquí cabe hacer la aclaración que son 2 pagos los que se van a hacer. Uno al Infonavit vía cuotas nominales y la otra que se va a estar pagando una mensualidad de acuerdo al monto de crédito que hayan ejercido a través de la entidad financiera. Las aportaciones patronales, una vez este crédito ejercido, en primera instancia van a ir a cubrir la parte proporcional del crédito Infonavit. Una vez que se termina de liquidar este crédito, las aportaciones patronales van a bono a capital para la entidad financiera.
What Mr. Francisco just explained to you is what I told you. First, the payment goes to the Infonavit, then to the bank. But Mr. Francisco puts a very interesting case here with this Cofinavit. Let's say that, for example, what happens when the worker, when it's not paying by its own money the Infonavit credit, and it's being taken of his monthly salary by their bosses. When in this case happened, when the boss takes out the money from the worker to directly transfer to the Infonavit account, just as it's the same thing. The boss take the money from his account and put it to the Infonavit. First covers the amount of the credit to Infonavit. Once it's finished, once the Infonavit mortgage or Infonavit loan credit, it's already paid and complete, then the next payments that the boss is gonna be taking away from the worker's salary, it's gonna be transferred to the other bank that complement the credit. Just as we explained, first we paid Infonavit, then we pay the other amount of credit with the other bank. It doesn't matter if it's the worker that is directly paying to Infonavit, then once he finished with the other bank, or it's the boss that the one that is taking the money from the salary of the employee to the Infonavit.
Adelante. En este tipo de crédito del Cofinavit, ingresos adicionales, es exclusivamente o era exclusivamente para los trabajadores de la industria de la restaurantera, es decir, para meseros, para garroteros, para cocineros, que ellos, independientemente de tener un salario mínimo, lo que les hacía fuertes eran los ingresos adicionales, que son las propinas. Hay otro tipo de ingreso adicional que pueden comprobar de acuerdo a las necesidades de cada uno de los trabajadores. Pero en este crédito, ingresos adicionales, era programado para aquellos trabajadores de la industria de restaurantes. Adelante, licenciado.
This other type, gracias, licenciado Francisco. This type of credit that is called additional incomes Confinavit, basically it's the same as the previous one, meaning that the loan, the credit, or the mortgage is partially granted by Infonavit and partially by a bank or a financial institution. The only difference that we hear is that you can access to a higher loan amount if you can prove additional income, such as commissions, tips, catalog sales income, between others. This type of credit was especially made for workers from the restaurant industries, companies, to the restaurant companies. For example, as waiters, cookers, chefs, because they have the minimum salary and they have additional income such as tips. So what they can do is use their monthly salary that is being taken away from their bosses to the Infonavit, plus the other credit with the other bank. And additional to that, they can afford or give, if they have a way to prove these tips or these additional incomes that they receive, they can, if they can prove it, they can transfer it to their account on Infonavit and doing like an extra payment to their credits so they do not have to pay a very big monthly amount of their Infonavit account or with the other bank. So this basically this type of Cofinavit is basically the same as the last one with the other institution, but you can add your additional incomes, or the worker can add their additional incomes for them to not pay monthly such a big quantity depending of the Infonavit credit that they got.
Aquí también este crédito es compartido con una entidad financiera, ¿sí? Es muy importante que tanto el Cofinavit normal como el Cofinavit, ingresos adicionales, es compartido entre Infonavit y una entidad financiera para aumentar precisamente los montos de crédito.
What Mr. Francisco just explained is what we just said, that this Cofinavit also is in partnership with a different credit with another financial institution or another bank. It's very important to just to follow the rules just as the other Cofinavit, to pay first the Infonavit credit. Once it is paid, move to the financial institution so you can keep a good score in your Infonavit account and access to better credit or better mortgage loan amounts for you in the future or for the worker in the future.
Correcto. La siguiente presentación es el crédito Infonavit conyugal. En este crédito, como lo dice su nombre, crédito conyugal, tiene que ser entre marido y mujer, esposos, ¿sí? No importa bajo qué régimen estén casados. Puede ser sociedad conyugal, sociedad legal o separación de bienes. Antiguamente no podían ejercer el crédito conyugal cuando estaban por separación de bienes. Ahora ya lo pueden hacer. Nada más que a diferencia que en este crédito es crédito titular, le dan el 100%. Crédito segundo, o sea, el esposo o la esposa le dan el 75% sobre su monto máximo de crédito, pero no tienen ningún problema en ejercerlo. No importa el régimen matrimonial. Inclusive, con el cambio que se ha dado, también parejas del mismo sexo que comprueben que están civilmente casados.
The next type of credit is the spousal loan Infonavit. That means that if you have a partner or you're married, you can both combine your credits and get a better amount of credit. This loan allows to combine not only the credit but the incomes of both spouses to access a higher amount to purchase a property. The amount granted by Infonavit in their credit in their mortgage alone can cover up to the 75% of the property's value. Among the main requirements are that both spouses must have an active employment relationship and must have worked continuously for at least the past 2 years. Also, as Mr. Francisco said, it's very important to make the clarification to make sure that both of the spouses, it doesn't matter under what marital regime they're married. It can be both the same regime. A few years ago, this credit was not possible to combine if both of them were married by good separations. That means that that's a marital regime where the husband has his things and the wife has her things. They were like 50, 100 and 100, not 50-50. Now, with these new changes that Infonavit has seen, also both of them, even if having a good separation on their marital regime, they can combine their credit up to the 75% of the value. Even nowadays, with the times that we're living in, and now it can also be, this spousal loan can also be given to marriages to couples of the same sex. If they can prove that they're civilly married by the government, that they have their civil application, that they're married, they can also access to this spousal loan in credit.
Aquí en este tipo de crédito es muy importante que ambas, el matrimonio tenga una relación laboral vigente, ¿sí? ¿Qué pasa si la persona con menor ingreso le dan un monto de crédito menor, no cumple con la puntuación? No importa. Aquí lo más importante es que el titular cumpla con los 1086 puntos que requiere el Infonavit.
Here in this special type of credit, it doesn't matter the amount of the credits regarding to the property of the value, because here there's gonna be one holder of the account. Since there are two people gathering their accounts to get a better credit, is gonna be a holder. It can be the holder can be the husband or can be the wife, but it's very important to clarify that the holder of the account of the credit, the holder of the credit of the spousal loan mortgage, or loan credit, however you want to call it, has the 1,086 score points that we saw in the Infonavit. If this holder of the account has a 1,086 points score in their account, they can access to this spousal loan and get the summatory of their credits and have the better amount of credits that they, depending on the score of both, but if the spousal that is not the holder has a good score on their Infonavit credit account, they can get a better amount of credit, but the holder has to have minimum the 186 score point in their Infonavit account.
Adelante. Una vez que el trabajador acreditado ejerce y termina de liquidar su crédito número 1, a los 6 meses puede ejercer un segundo crédito de Infonavit. Es muy importante que al ejercer el segundo crédito, ¿sí? Haya hecho ya la liberación del gravamen para poder ejercer su segundo crédito. En el segundo crédito, la única opción que tienen para ejercerlo es comprar vivienda nueva o usada. Desgraciadamente, no pueden usar las demás líneas de crédito que es para reparación, ampliación o mejora de la vivienda, porque en este momento no lo están autorizando. Adelante.
The next step of Infonavit credit is the Infonavit second credit. This credit allows to the worker for the obtaining of a mortgage or loan once the purchase of a new or used home of the property that they want to acquire. It helps them to get a second credit. Once this is a requirement, not to the requirement to access for the worker to this second credit of Infonavit is that they do not have an active loan with the institution, as otherwise it's likely that the loan will not be approved. Let's say that the worker has already finished the payment of his first credit. After 6 months of the ending of the first credit, he can access to a second credit, also depending on the score of his account. If he has the 1,086 points score in his account, he can access to this second credit 6 months after paying the first one, and depending on the account and the score of the account, he can access to better amounts of credit and all the information that we already said with the previous credit. But the important acceleration of this one is the 6 months after the first loan or mortgage or credit that is have been paid by the worker. 6 months after that, after the credit was finished, he can access to a new credit with Infonavit. Very important that he does not have active the credit, previous credit with Infonavit, because if the previous credit is active, he's not going to be able to access to a new credit until the last credit, the first one, is already paid.
Adelante con la siguiente presentación. En esta línea de crédito se llama Mejoravit o Mejor Así. Es parte de la línea 4 del crédito original del crédito, que es ampliación o reparación o remodelación de la vivienda. ¿Cuál es la ventaja o la desventaja de esta situación? Que la casa inclusive no puede ser del propio trabajador, que le está rentando, que le diga, ¿sabes qué? Pues tú métele dinero y arréglala. Tienen un crédito de Mejoravit para poder mejorar la vivienda, aunque no sea propietario de la misma. Nada más que tiene que comprobar que es de algún familiar en la cual está usando, ¿sí? Y el monto de crédito que va desde los 4,000 hasta los 139,000 pesos a liquidar en 5 años, ¿sí? En este tipo de crédito se deposita un 80% del monto del crédito autorizado en una tarjeta y el 20% se le da en efectivo para que empiece a comprar el material para hacer las mejoras que requiera la vivienda. Adelante.
Una pregunta rápida, licenciado Francisco.
Sí.
Para traducirlo bien, lo más fiel posible. Dijo que puede mejorar aún siendo no propietario
Sí.
del hogar.
Así es. Es el único crédito que le va a facilitar el Infonavit al trabajador, aunque no sea el propietario. pero sí tiene que ser propietario algún familiar de él que le estén rentando, que le estén prestando la vivienda, ¿sí?
Si no es familiar, no puede hacer el crédito, ¿verdad?
Sí, puede ser. Sí, voy a poner un ejemplo. Que mi hermano me esté rentando su casa. Yo, trabajador acreditado, pido un crédito para mejorar esta casa, aunque no esté a nombre mío, y me lo autorizan. Nada más debo de comprobar que la vivienda es de un familiar.
Sí, por eso, si no hay
Ok, perfecto.
Si no hay
Yo les
una
explico eso.
relación entre el dueño de la vivienda y el acreditado y el trabajador acreditado en primer grado, no se otorga el crédito.
Ok, perfecto. Gracias, yo les explico eso. The next type that we have here of the credit in Infonavit is the Mejoravit or Mejorasí. This is a type of loan exclusively for remodeling or making repairs to your home or the house that the worker is renting. The process is carried out through in the Infonavit. However, it is granted by a banking institution and is deposited into your Mejoravit card. That is a card that Infonavit gives you for you to receive the money of the credit, which is accepted in thousands of stores throughout Mexico. There's a very important declaration or note we have to make regarding to this credit. There is also right down at the bottom of the slide. You can see that the loan amount ranges from 4,000 pesos to 139 pesos. To be paid off over 5 years, that means that every year until the 5th year, you're gonna be paying the credit. Then with the 80% of it will be deposited to this card, and the 20% will be given to you in cash. Now, I asked Mr. Francisco a question that is important to say. Mr. Francisco told us regarding to this credit that this is the only credit that the worker can have, or mortgage or loan, if you want to call it, that the worker can have if he's not the property, he's not the owner of the house. Because even if he's paying a rent or he's renting the house, he can access to this credit to make the repairs or to remodel the house, to do the remodeling or making repairs of the house. But there's one important condition for the worker to access to this credit for remodeling or making repairs to the house. He has to give the Infonavit the information, or he has to, make the Infonavit give proof to the Infonavit that he's a familiar of the owner of the house. What does that mean? For example, let's say that my brother is renting me his house and I'm living in it. Since he's my brother, I can, if I give the proof to Infonavit that he's my brother and we are relatives and we have the blood share and all that stuff, Infonavit can grant me that credit for me to do the repairs or the modifying of the house. But if I want to access to this credit and I don't have a way to prove that he's my brother or he's not my brother and just a stranger that is renting me, then I cannot access to this credit and do the repairs or the remodeling for the home.
Yes. Adelante. En esta línea de crédito que se llama Construyo Yo, ¿sí?, es para los trabajadores que ya tienen un terreno propio. No confundirse con línea 4, construcción en terreno propio, ¿sí? Al final de cuentas, la línea 4 y esta línea de crédito viene siendo una cosa muy semejante, ¿sí? A diferencia que en la línea 4 debo de contratar los servicios de un arquitecto o de un ingeniero que esté debidamente registrado en Infonavit, y es el mismo procedimiento. Aquí el monto máximo que me puede prestar el Infonavit en esta línea de crédito es hasta 528,000 pesos. Cuando en línea 4, construcción en terreno propio, puede ser arriba de esta cantidad. Adelante.
And then this next type of credit is called Construyó. The Construyó, that can make a reference to the word I build, The Construyó program is also known as the Quiero Construir loan, that it means I want to build loan. consists of granting an amount to Infonavit beneficiaries so they can build their house from scratch, from zero, on their own land, or to expand their current home. The maximum amount that Infonavit loans with this credit is of 528,000 pesos. And you can apply it for it if you meet the required score and the necessary requirements. As Mr. Francisco said, it's very important to note that the amount that cannot surpass this credit is the 528,000 pesos, because this program is made for the Infonavit beneficiaries.
Adelante. Esta línea de crédito se llama Crediterreno. Es la línea de crédito más nueva que ha ejercido ahorita el instituto, ¿sí? Antiguamente, lo único que daba o financiaba el instituto era para comprar vivienda o mejorarla, o construirla, o el pago de pasivo. Ahora con el Crediterreno podemos comprar una vivienda, no importa en dónde, pero es muy importante que uno de los requisitos que les va a pedir el Infonavit primordiales es que tenga alineamiento y número oficial el terreno. Adelante, licenciado.
The next type of credit. Claro, gracias, licenciado Francisco. The next type of credit that here gives Infonavit, that is actually the newest type of credit that Infonavit is using, is called Crediterreno. The terreno stands for land, just the bare land without the building or anything. With this loan, the worker can purchase land to gradually and modularly build their house according to their current and future housing needs. The worker can apply for it individually, but keep it in mind that the worker must meet the requirements and procedures in effect at the time of contracting. One of the requirements that is very important, because long ago, Infonavit didn't give credits to the workers to buy land. They give them to buy houses, to build houses, to make upgrades, to modify, to do repairs to the homes. But nowadays, with this Crediterreno, Infonavit gives to the worker, depending on their score and if they fulfill the requirements, to buy or purchase the land, and with that, access to a land for themselves. Now, it's very important. One of the most important requirements for them to access to this Crediterreno and Infonavit is that the land has an official alignment and an official number. Without those two requirements, the Infonavit cannot grant the Crediterreno to the worker. So it's very important that if the worker is going to access to a Crediterreno with Infonavit, they need to give the alignment and the official number first to the land.
Vamos a cambiar a la siguiente imagen. No, ok. Aquí está el procedimiento para tramitar un crédito, no solamente en Infonavit, sino cualquier tipo de crédito. Es precalificación. En caso de un crédito en cofinanciamiento, la corrida bancaria de una institución financiera, hipotecario bancario, la constancia del taller saber para decidir, la integración de los expedientes tanto de la parte compradora como de la parte vendedora, la precalificación, la solicitud elaborada, acta de nacimiento, acta de matrimonio, copia del INE, constancia de situación fiscal ante el SAT, copia del último estado de cuenta de las AFORES, 2 avalúos que se van a necesitar, que es el comercial y el catastral, y por último, la carta de autorización emitida por la institución bancaria o hipotecaria que está dando la autorización para un crédito en cofinanciamiento. Adelante, licenciado.
Here, gracias, licenciado. This list that we see here on the slide is the steps or the requirements for us to access not to just Infonavit credit, but to any credit on the institute on Infonavit. The first is the pre-qualification. It's a pre-qualification that the institute does to you regarding to your salary, your credit information, to see if you are able or if you are what was the word? Suitable for a credit, or if you fit for a credit. The second one is a run that you have already run with a banking or a mortgage institution for your credit information. With the required documentation from the corresponding institution. Let's say that you already have a credit or a credit card with a different bank. Is to have the credit information or the documents that the bank or the financial institution gives to you for you to give it to Infonavit so they can analyze your qualification. Number three will be the integration of both files, which are from Infonavit. The first one will be the certificate from the Saber para Decidir workshop. That Saber para Decidir means know to decide workshop. The second one will be the pre-qualification. The third one will be the completed application, the one that the worker does on the website. The third one will be the birth certificate, and the fifth one will be the marriage certificate if the worker is married. If not, it's not necessary. Number six, the copy of the INE. That's the National Electoral Institute ID, like the national ID here in Mexico. Number eight, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, number 7. Sorry, the tax status certificate from the SAT, that is called here RFC, or Constancia de Situación Fiscal. That will be the tax status certificate here in Mexico. And number 8, the copy of the latest Afore statement. And number 9, the commercial and cadastral appraisal. These are issues by the financial or the mortgage institution that is going to give the credit to the worker to acquire the home. And last but not least, the authorization letter issued by the banking or mortgage institution.
Aquí es muy importante hacer la aclaración, licenciado, que se piden 2 avalúos, un comercial y un catastral. ¿Para qué me va a servir el avalúo comercial? Para 2 cosas, para saber el valor real comercial de la propiedad y que la misma propiedad me garantice por lo menos 30 años de vida. Y el catastral para el pago de los impuestos, tanto de quien adquiere como de quien vende. Para eso van a servir los 2 avalúos, el comercial y el catastral.
It is very important to clarify here that we need both of the appraisals, the commercial and the cadastral appraisal. Why do we need both of them? The commercial, first one, for those reasons. The commercial, because it's the real value of the real commercial value that has the property that the worker is going to acquire. Second, to make sure that the property that is going to acquire or purchase the worker is going to be minimum alive for 30 years. That means that for 30 years it's going to be giving faith that that's the commercial value of the property. And the cadastral appraisal is very important because with that appraisal is that we can know the tax and the tax information that we're gonna be giving to the SAT, that is like the tax institute here in Mexico, and also how much is the tax that we're gonna pay for acquiring that or purchasing that property or house with the credit.
Le pagan al municipio, ¿no? Bueno, dale.
¿Correcto? Seguimos con la siguiente presentación. Estos son los pasos para hacer el trámite de solicitar el crédito Infonavit. Lo primero que tiene que saber el trabajador, cuál es el monto de crédito que tengo yo derecho, precalificarme y elegir el tipo de crédito que voy a ejercer. Realizar el curso para saber y decidir mejor y tramitar ya los avalúos. ¿Sí? Se solicita el avalúo una vez integrado el expediente, se solicita el trámite de crédito. Una vez que ya está autorizado el crédito por parte de Infonavit, se va a elegir un notario. Aquí cabe hacer la aclaración que no puede ser cualquier notario, sino los notarios que están inscritos dentro del padrón de notariados del Infonavit. Y por último, obtener la constancia de crédito, que después esto va a ser un punto aparte de lo que vamos a platicar. Adelante.
an Infonavit credit. This is the step-by-step of how to get an Infonavit credit. First of all, can you hear me? Can you hear me? ¿Me escuchan?
Sí, 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 silenciado.
Va, perfecto, continúo. So how to get an Infonavit credit? This is the step-by-step to request a credit with Infonavit. First of all, just as we said in the previous slide, we have to do the pre-qualification and choose a credit depending to our necessities or the necessities to the worker. That will be depending the credit that we'll be choosing. Second one will be doing the course, saber para decidir mejor. That will be know to decide better. The third step will be to request the appraisal, both commercial, well, the commercial one, and then the cadastral. Number 4 will be to request the credit. We have to integrate the expedient and go to the Infonavit. If the housing, the house or the property is in a constructor, the construction will be the one that will be doing the tramit for the credit, doing all the paperwork with the Infonavit. The construction will be the one working with Infonavit and not the worker. Number 5 will be to choose the public notary to inscribe the credit to inscribe the credit will be presented a list to the worker with all the registered with all the Infonavit, with all the notaries that are registered in the Infonavit registry. You can choose one of them because not all the notaries can give the credits or with depending of the banks. They have to be registered in this census that the bank does, and Infonavit will give you a list of the notaries that you can access to for your credit. Number 6, it's to get your credit request, or also called the credit constancy, la constancia de crédito. The credit constancy, there will be in that constancy, they will be established the conditions, the financial conditions, and the limit date or the expiration date for you to finish your credit. What was the word? Process, the credit process. It's very important to have this credit constancy that will be in the account of the worker, because with that credit, with that constancy is information that the worker is going to use for them to have in mind the expiration dates of the credit or that it's going to request.
¿Qué vas a decir de la solicitud?
Es muy importante que para poder tener la precalificación, es necesario que abran mi cuenta Infonavit en el propio portal del instituto. Desgraciadamente, el instituto está cambiando mucho los criterios para obtener esta información. Al abrir mi cuenta Infonavit, hago la precalificación, me piden que llene un buró de crédito para poder obtener el 100% del monto del crédito que yo tengo derecho. Si yo no autorizo el buró de crédito, la precalificación y el monto de crédito que me va a dar el portal o el sistema va a ser hasta un 60%, es decir, un 40% menos. Por eso es muy importante que en el momento que estén perfilando a su trabajador, a su posible comprador, que se dé de alta en el portal de Infonavit para sacar mi cuenta Infonavit.
What Mr. Francisco said is nowadays, because Infonavit is having a lot of changes with the requirements for them to get a credit, it's very important for us to let know that the buyer or the worker that is gonna work with us or with the construction, it's very important for them to, because right now, if you go to your Infonavit account and want to do the pre-qualification for you to access to your credit and choose a credit, it's gonna send you, it's gonna ask you the Infonavit account to fulfill a credit bureau information for them to do the pre-qualification. So it's very important to tell you your clients that are gonna get the property or buy or purchase a land or a home. It's very important for you to tell them that they have to open their Infonavit account upload this credit bureau information on their account. Once they upload that information, to then do the pre-qualification and choose the credit that they wanna use to access to the property that they wanna acquire.
Infonavit va a bajar el crédito. Hemos visto.
Seguimos con la información. Okay. Pueden entrar para sacar mi cuenta Infonavit. Permítanme tantito. Voy a pasar a mi asistente porque quiere hacer un comentario.
Hola a todos, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Paola Hernández. Un comentario acerca de la importancia de tener un buen historial crediticio. Al hacer la consulta de buró de crédito, si la consulta no sale favorecedora o tu historial no ha sido bueno, el Infonavit hace una especie de evaluación y ajustes y no se te va a otorgar el monto total del crédito. Se va a bajar ese monto porque pues no tienes un buen historial de pago crediticio. Solo eso.
To do a very quick acceleration, the person that was speaking is the assistant of Mr. Francisco. She's called Paola Hernandez, and she's telling us two important things. The first one, regarding to the last slide of what we said of acquiring the pre-qualification, if your clients does not do this pre-qualification on their Infonavit account, the credit amount that they're gonna acquire from 100 can go down to 60%. That means that they're gonna lose 40% of credit to their account for their to access to a better property. And the second point that was what Mrs. Paola told us. She says that it's very important that your clients had a very good credit, well, not very good, but has a good credit history. Because if they upload the credit bureau information and in the bureau credit consult, they do not have a good credit history, or they did not make payments in time, or they are not good with their credit history, Infonavit is gonna make an evaluation that is gonna pop up to the client account that he's not eligible for a credit. So in this case, it's not that Infonavit doesn't say that, no, we're not gonna give you the credit because you don't have a good credit history. What Infonavit does is says, okay, we see that you do not have a good credit history. So what we're gonna do to you, instead of giving you, I don't know, 500,000 pesos for your credit, we're gonna give you just 200,000 pesos. They're not gonna give you the complete amount of what you requested or of what you wanted or needed for your credit. They're gonna give you an amount, not the total, because you do not have a good credit history. So it's very important for us to tell our clients to have a good credit history. So in that way, they can get better credits, better mortgages, or better loans. Yeah, Mrs. Paola, I just wanted to do that acceleration.
Gracias.
Gracias. Siguiente presentación.
Next step, here in the slides, you can see the how the step-by-step how to access to the Infonavit. Voy a explicarles rápidamente el paso a paso con las imágenes. First of all, go to Google. You can write Mi Cuenta Infonavit. That will be the translation in Spanish for My Account Infonavit. Go to the first link that you see on Google. Next step, you're gonna see the main menu of here in your Infonavit account. Once you see this menu here in your account, you can use you're gonna put the number, the social security number of the worker. You can put in remind me later for if they want access later to your account. If they do not have their social security number, they can consult it here in this red link below the remember me button. After they consult your security social number, you're gonna put the password for your account. If you forgot your password, you can get it back in the question, olvidaste tu contraseña. It means forget your password. That is right down below the password box. After that, you're gonna put a code just for the machine to know that you are a human and not a robot. You're gonna introduce the code that says nostrum harum, these weird words on black that you can see here. Once that, you're gonna log in. If you do not have an account with Infonavit, where you can see the giant purple arrow or pink arrow, it's pointing to a button that is called create an account, donde dice crear una cuenta. Where it says crear una cuenta, it means to create an account. That means if you don't have an Infonavit account, you can create it there with Infonavit. The next steps will be to do this, the personal data of the worker, put the social security number again. This is for creating the account. For creating the account will be to put the social security number. Also, you can consult all the data if you don't have it. You put the CURP, that is like the unique key for registration for every citizen in Mexico. You can put your CURP there. If you don't have it, the CURP, you can consult it with the red link below that will be the second box. Then the third box, it says the Registro Federal de Contribuyentes. That will be the tax document that we consulted from. We can consult it from the SAT portal on internet. With that, we put the RFC, that is a key also, as the other previous two ones, and access to the account. Put the code that says back. For example, those letters in black that we see, put them just for the machine to corroborate that we're not a robot, we're real persons. Once the personal data is introduced to the Infonavit account, we're gonna verify the name. With the data that we give on the last slide, it's gonna appear a registered name. For example, in this case says Jesus Ismael Fernandez Rizo. For example, if in this slide, if I put my security social number, my tax information, and my CURP, the information that is gonna give me the website on the next slide is my name. It will be in that case Daniel Efrain Larrabalbuena, that is my personal name. Then it says if your name and last name does not appear as the same that in your birth certificate, you have to make them right in the Afore. You have to correct those mistakes. It's normal that the letter N, that is the N with the little stick on the top, will be substituted with other letters or other signs. In this case, they don't have to be corrected. Once it's gonna ask you, this name is correct, the name that is in black letter, you said, oh yes, that's my name. You click on the yes button, that will be the red one. The right button says yes, the left one says no. Then we click yes. If we click yes, it's gonna put our contact data. How is the Infonavit gonna contact us? First, it asks us for our telephone number. We introduce our telephone number on the first box. On the second box, we're gonna confirm the telephone number. We're gonna write it again. On the third one, or email. And the third one, we're gonna confirm our email. And it's gonna say which medium you're gonna be liking that Infonavit will be informating you. That means by which one of the data that you put on the previous boxes is gonna be the information that Infonavit is gonna use to contact you. You can choose either by cell phone, by mail, or by both. Once you click it on the last two little circles we see right here that says by phone or by mail, or email, sorry, you're gonna click on continue. That is the gray button that we see right here on the bottom of the slide. We're gonna click continue, and it's gonna show us the notice of privacy, the privacy notice. We're gonna tell the workers to read the privacy notice. If they agree with this notice, they're gonna click on this red box that says I accept the privacy notice, and click on continue. That will be the right button. Once they click to continue, they're gonna read the terms and conditions. That is gonna be the exact same process as the previous one. Once they accept the terms and conditions, it's gonna ask you your Infonavit account, or to the worker, it's gonna ask to the worker to create its password. It's gonna put the password that they created on the first box. Once they put the password, they're gonna confirm it on the second one. It says confirm password, the second circle, the one that is below the first one. We're gonna put the exact same password we put, or the worker put it on the last box, and it's gonna put you some recommendations for the password, that it has a minor, capital letter, a minor letter, it has a number and a special character, and it has minimum 8 characters. Once we finish with the password, we're gonna put it on continue, that is the gray box on the bottom. Once the password is written on the little boxes, the continue button will turn on color red. Then you click, it's gonna, if the password has the requirements that Infonavit tell you, it's gonna put them with a check. And also, there's gonna be a green bar below the first box with a legend that says security level high. If the security level of the password is high, then you're gonna be able to continue.
He said?
Yeah.
Any questions? If not, we continue. Then the next step will be to activate your account. You're going to receive an email confirmation by the email that you registered in your personal data and your contact data. Once you get that confirmation by email, the worker is going to access to their email that it put as a contact data and click on yeah, it's me opening my account. I want to open it, confirm. Once they confirm that email on their account, they're going to click on continue. Once they click on continue and click OK on the confirmation that arrived by their email, they're gonna say like this on their email: Infonavit más cerca, that means Infonavit more closer. It says confirmación de registro, that means registration confirmation. And you're gonna have to go click on it on the first email, on the first mail that is there. You can see it is the one with the yellow arrow. You're gonna click on that mail, on that to that message, click to that message and gonna confirm. Once they confirm, it's gonna throw them this button that says confirm I registered. On the right side, it says you're a few steps to create your account. Continue with the register by clicking the button. Once you click the button of the that says confirmar mi registro, that is the red one, that it means I want to confirm my register. You click on it, and you're gonna see a list with the services that my account Infonavit brings you. It says give the following procedure to the credit request, consult how much they have saved on their housing sub account, consult how much they owe to the credit and their account statuses. Also, to download the suspension or retention notice in case if they need to their bosses to keep getting out the money of their salary, and also to download their constancy for them to have any acclarations before the SAT. Then to activate the account is gonna send you a 4-digit code to your phone number. That is a confirmation code. Once it's gonna be sent through a text message. Once the text message arrives to the phone, you're gonna put the 4 digits here in the 4 boxes we see and continue. Once we continue, congratulations, the Infonavit account has been successfully being activated and you can start enjoying the services that my account Infonavit has for you. Once you see this announced in your account, you're gonna click on end. That is the red button that says finalizar, that means ending. You end the process and now you're gonna be able to access to your account. Instead of creating the account, you're gonna put your social security number. You're gonna put the box of remember me if you wanna be remembered by the website. If you don't remember your social security number, you can consult it by the red link. Then you put the password on the second box to put the password. If you forgot the password, there is the button for you to get it back, and put the letters in black that are on the third box. Write them down for the machine to know that you're not a robot. Once you access to your account, you're gonna see here on the right, you see this box where you can see how does your account look on Infonavit. It says welcome, in this case, me, that I'm Daniel. Welcome, Daniel, to my account Infonavit. You can consult here how much you have saved, do your appointment on Infonavit here. You can also access to the calculator or the saving calculator to know how much you will need to access to a credit or how much you will need to pay. And between other informations, you're gonna see on the top of the website, it says credit sin crédito vigente. That means that you don't have a credit. If you have a credit, you will see here the announcement that you have a credit with an institution or with Infonavit. To access to the Infonavit credit, you're gonna go to your profile, and on the top side of the website, you're gonna see your security social number, the name of your account, and the log off button. On the on the fourth button on the right side, you're gonna see an option, the one that is circled. It says tramitar mi crédito. That means request my credit. If you don't request a credit, you're gonna click on it. You click on it, you're gonna go to pre-qualification and score, or notary selection, depending on the step that you are for. If you're gonna if you're on the first step, you're gonna access to the first one, that is pre-qualification and score. You access to that option, it's gonna tell you, it says me interesa un crédito para, that means I'm interested in a credit for. It will tell you to buy a house, to build, to modify, or to upgrade a house, or to pay my mortgage. And the second box, that is the one in the right, says to buy a land. Then it's gonna drop you this information that says inform and learn, and it's gonna tell you the recommendation to check the video tutorials that you can find on Infonavit on the bottom side of the website. For you to get the information and to have a credit, you can click on continue. It's gonna tell you how much you have saved in your housing sub account. This person has 130,000 with 9. It has 130,000 with 9,055 with 78 cents. It says he with this information and because of the score in his account, he is eligible for get a credit, and it says he can already or she request a credit. This is what they can do with the credit. They can buy, they can build, they can upgrade or modify, they can pay a mortgage on access to the Construyó credit. After that, once they select which type of credit, they can go to the option after that to says how they want their credit. They can have an individual credit, that is the first box. That is, Infonavit tells here in this case that they suggest this person, they suggest this option because of the possibilities of their account. Or they can also access to the spousal loan or to the familial loan. That is the other two options. Here in this case, since the person is not eligible for the other two loans, it appears on gray. So if you are not eligible for the other account, it's gonna appear you this legend with this warning sign that says that with Con Unamos Credit Infonavit, that means let's join Credit Infonavit. It's gonna tell them that they can access to a graded amount of credit or a grade for buying or purchasing a graded a property with a greater value. But to access to those grades, they had to do a prequalification in the option and family or co-residential credit. So in this case, it's regarding to the individual credit. Then it's gonna tell that it's gonna tell them in Infonavit with this authorization, it comes here in screen on the slide, is Infonavit asking for your permission to access to your history, to your credit history, and to see if you're eligible to the Infonavit credit in your account. So you're gonna click on I authorize to the Infonavit, and you can see here in this chart, like the pre-calculation of the amount of the credit Infonavit they're going to have. You can see the monthly retention, that is how much they are going to take out of their monthly salary to pay the credit, and also another information, how much is the amount of the credit, how will be the less gas they can have, because it's gonna have the credit amount plus the saving plus the the monthly rotation that they're gonna be doing on their salary of the worker. You can see more complete information of the chart. And once we finish with the process, it's gonna tell you which credits, depending on these charts that we saw here, which credits is eligible for. They say that the credits that are eligible for this person are the individual credit and also a credit for buying a house. It's gonna put the value of the house. In this case, is 470,000 pesos. Then it's gonna put the information of the table that he has eligible to have a credit. And it's gonna put, in this case, this is from the Infonavit credit, he can access to the calculator for him to know how much will be the better amount. For example, in this case, if they keep 8,000 pesos from their monthly salary, it says Infonavit that in 24 years, the credit is gonna be paid it's gonna be totally paid. So with this option of the calculator, you can know how much will be the better amount that Infonavit gets out of your account, and in how many years you're gonna be able to finish paying the credit. Here is the option of the calculator in a bigger image. And thank you, Mr. Francisco Lopez Mungía. He right now is the founder and pensioner of Infonavit, certified advisor of the same, currently advisor to workers who want to process Infonavit credit, as well as release of settled debt and cancellation of line of the same from 2009 till today. His phone number or contact number, you can see it on the screen, is 33-1075-9957. That number will be Mexican number. El licenciado Francisco, y disculpe que tomé mucho tiempo para medio
problema,
la página, pero ya esta última positiva es sus datos de contacto y un poco de currículum de usted. No sé si hay algo que guste decirles a los alumnos o si quiere que les diga si tienen alguna duda.
Quiero hacer un comentario muy importante. Si el crédito que van a ejercer los posibles compradores es arriba de 2 millones de pesos, yo les recomiendo el Cofinavit, porque de acuerdo a los ingresos que puedan mostrar ante el banco les va a dar una cantidad superior al monto de crédito autorizado por el Infonavit. Van a ser dos créditos, la parte proporcional del crédito de Infonavit y la parte proporcional en mayor cantidad, el ejercicio que les va a dar el banco de acuerdo a sus ingresos. Esa es la mejor sugerencia que yo les puedo hacer. También es muy importante que las personas que están como al servicio de los patronos, como la servidumbre y jardineros y todos esos empleados de la casa, tienen derecho al Infonavit siempre y cuando estén registrados ante el Seguro Social como tal. ¿Correcto? Adelante, licenciado.
Perfecto. Just as the last point or declaration that Mr. Francisco wants to tell you is that in case that the worker wants to access to the credit that is with a greater value of more than 2 million pesos, the best option is to have with Cofinavit, because when you with this, since 2 million pesos is a very big amount for a credit for only one person, for only one worker, the best recommendation would be to go with a family or with a partner of the worker and combine the two credits with the Cofinavit. So in that way, they can access to the quantity of the 2 million pesos or quantity that can be even greater depending on the value of the property. So it's very important in this case, because for Infonavit, for you to give this credit as a worker, the best option will be to combine the credits also, because you can finish to pay the credit in a very faster than by other traditional ways. And also the amount of the credit can be less monthly because you have two persons paying it. So it will be easy for the workers and the clients to access to bigger amounts of credit, better times of payment, and also having better payment information regarding to the credit and the big amount that they're accessing to Infonavit.
Correcto. Bien.
I would like to add something, licenciado. A worker in Mexico can earn since 5,000 pesos a month to 100,000 pesos a month. We have, both are workers. Could be a worker, the CEO of a company, or just the person who handles the maintenance of a house, the gardener. So both of them has the right to apply the Infonavit, and also they both have a sub account, and both of them can buy a house. So it's not a credit just for people who earned just a little amount, or for a small amount. What I'm trying to mean.
¿Qué pase?
Excuse me? What I'm trying to say is the Infonavit credit can apply to a house that worth 10 million pesos, 5 million pesos, 2 million pesos, 300,000 pesos, 20 million pesos. Because if I'm a worker and I have for example, I have my sub account, it worth more than $1 million pesos. I want to use that money, because if I don't use that money, the money can lose when a person pass away. That amount could lose in the Infonavit. So it's important to know that it's not this credit is not just for houses that worth for example 300,000 pesos. No, you can apply the credit to anyone. Okay. Les estoy diciendo, Panchito, que que este crédito puede ser tanto para una persona que gana 5,000 pesos como para una persona que gana 100,000 pesos al mes y que tiene una gran cantidad en su subcuenta de vivienda.
Así es.
¿Cuál es el producto? What is the product that he has to choose? Let's ask to the specialist. Francisco Panchito is a specialist. So I recommend Panchito because I know him for a lot of time, probably 20 years or something like that. And he's a serious person. He knows what he's doing, and you are in good hands and with Panchito. This is his phone number, and please feel free to ask him whatever. He can handle the credit, the whole credit, the appraisal, or the free of encumbrance of any kind of credits. Thanks a lot. Gracias, muchas gracias, Panchito. Cualquier cosa que quieras agregar, este es el momento.
Gracias. Es muy importante y voy a insistir en que tienen que tener mi cuenta Infonavit, porque no nada más es sacar la precalificación y hacer el taller. Una vez que el crédito ya está ejercido, tienen que bajar cierta información del portal de Infonavit que el notario le va a pedir al trabajador que lo baje para poderlo llevar a su empresa y viceversa. Si no pueden bajar ese documento, que es la constancia de autorización de crédito, no pueden llevar a cabo la firma de escrituras. Por eso es muy importante que tengan abierta mi cuenta Infonavit, arquitecto.
Okay. Adelante, licenciado.
Mr. Francisco says again, he wants to make out the point that is very important for the workers or the clients to have already opened their My Infonavit account, My Account Infonavit, because for them to access to the information on the credits and the notary, the information that the notary also asks for when the worker needs the credit, it's very important for them to have open their My Account Infonavit, because just as we told a few slides in a few moments before, if the client or the worker does not have open their My Account Infonavit, the amount of credit that they can access to is gonna be lower, because Infonavit is gonna not have information of them. Or if they want to open the account to have access to a better amount of credit, it's gonna take some time till the Infonavit approves the credit, does the pre-qualification of the account, and access to the credit information of the client or the worker. So it's very important. Mr. Francisco is gonna do a lot of emphasize that it's very important that the worker or the person who wants to access to the credit has the Infonavit account opened or already created, with the pre-qualification already done, with the authorization of the credit history or the credit bureau, and the information that we saw on the previous slides.
Perfecto, gracias.
You're welcome.
Pues muchas gracias, Francisco, Panchito, por
Gracias,
acompañarnos y por expresarnos, por compartirnos todos tus conocimientos. Espero que los compañeros te busquen cuando sea necesario. Y pues bueno, voy si tiene, is there any question do you have right now? Or and we're gonna go for a 15 minutes break, so we can start the next class. Gracias, Panchito.
Buenas tardes a todos.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias. Thank you.
You're
Gracias.
welcome.